Hey there folks, welcome to a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Boeing 247D by the developer Wing42, who have released such other things as the magnificent little paper plane, essentially the Blériot 11, and also a few other aircraft as well from P3D and FSX. This thing is $20. $20. I want to get that right out of the gate. It's only $20. There are ported FSX aircraft that are not worth $1 that are being charged more than this. This is $20 and worth every penny. It's got a very unique radio range navigation, aka Morse code, that it tunes into, prior to modern age navigation. It's got full PBR textures in and out. It's essentially a living aircraft, so it's got a continuous state, which is pretty neat about it as well. So it's got flight hours, if you think about it. It's got a meticulous oil system, electric system, and heat exchange system. Intricate animations inside and out. We'll go over those, of course. Ground operations and virtual clipboard, sort of like a flight engineer, if you will. It utilizes WI sound, so it's got some very good sounds, and custom effects such as fire and smoke. So depending on how you lean out the engine and things of that nature, it'll show, and that's pretty neat. And it comes with 9 liveries. Now, this was released a couple of days ago, and I've really been looking forward to this personally. This is my first flight simulator video for the most part. I typically do train simulator videos, but I love airplanes just as much. Now, I'm no pilot. I don't know all the technical terms. I don't know all that kind of stuff, so you won't hear me saying that or trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about for the most part. I just like airplanes, and I like vintage airplanes, and I figured what better way to start off than this thing right here, just in case you may have come across it and not known about this aircraft or thought it was a bit too intricate or too deep, if you will. It is a great bird, but we're going to take a look at it here today. So let's go. Alright, so as I like to do with the train simulation videos that I try to produce as well, I like to give a little bit of history or backstory about the real deal, because it is, after all, a simulator, so it's simulating something. Again, this of course is the Boeing 247D. It was a commercial aircraft from the 1930s and one of the first modern commercial aircraft, or the first modern commercial aircraft to utilize an all-metal or aluminum, or my friends not in America, aluminum frame construction, including retractable landing gear, trim tabs, autopilot, de-icing boots for the wings and tails, so on and so forth. Of course, manufactured by Boeing in the 1930s, taking its maiden flight, I believe, on February 8th of that same decade. Obviously, I think it was about 1933. They only built 75 of these things, and it's got a really good backstory behind it, because TWA, Trans World Airlines, wanted to buy some, and Bill Boeing was like, "No, I don't think so, man. We're gonna wait and do this run, and then maybe we'll sell you some." Well, after that, TWA contacted Douglas, and that's where the DC-3 was born, which became a highly successful aircraft at the time. But of course, Boeing would come back in the lead, down the line. Anyway, this thing had a crew of 3. It could hold 10 passengers plus baggage and mail, a length of 51 feet, wingspan of 74 feet, and a height of 12 feet. The max takeoff weight was 13,650 pounds. It held about 270 some odd gallons of fuel, and it had 2 Pratt & Whitney R1340 S1 H1G Wasp 9-cylinder air-cooled radial piston plants, 500 horsepower each at 2,200 RPMs at 8,000 feet. Now, some were 2-bladed. These are 3-bladed, obviously. This is the D variant. This was the response to Douglas building their DC-1 and DC-2 and so on and so forth. This added more speed as well, airspeed. And I believe they also had variable pitch props as well. But in the end, the D variant was capable of 200 mile an hour with a range of over 700 miles and a service ceiling of 25,000 feet. I think it could go a bit higher, but generally 25,000 feet. But this is it. I really, really like this thing. I play MSFS quite a bit, but once this released and I got my hands on it, I cannot stop playing. I love this aircraft. I love vintage aircraft. This is the great granddaddy to the B-17 Flying Fortress, which is easily one of my favorite aircraft of all time. I mean, just look at this thing. Incredible little minute details. All the rivets. It's just, you know, it's not too shiny. It doesn't have that crazy alpha channel or whatever it may be texture-wise. It looks worn. You can see all the weathering and the scratches and whatnot, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. The 9 liveries that come with it are all very nice as well. I just chose this one because, I don't know, red, white, and blue, I guess. America. But it is a fantastic model. And I mean, look at these props. Look at the caps on these things and this radial engine. This is insane. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Of course, got the Pratt & Whitney Eagle down there. Absolutely gorgeous. Undercarriage, retractable landing gear. This thing was extremely advanced for the time. This aircraft, this thing paved the way for modern airliners, modern commercial airlines. They essentially started the whole stewardess thing, if you will. You know, someone on a plane to take care of the passengers' needs. They had a registered nurse on board. I guess they came up with the idea to help ease passengers' minds, because they flew low back then, you know, through weather and all kinds of stuff, so people would get freaked out. So I guess they felt better having a registered nurse on board, and that is what gave us the advent today of stewardess or steward persons on aircraft. So that's pretty neat in itself. But this thing is just incredible. I love flying it. We're going to get to it here in a minute, but I wanted to take a look around the outside too. Of course, you see the radio antenna up here on the roof. Now, as far as the radio navigation, the tone, or flying the beam, as it's called, I'm not going to go over that at all today. I don't know how to do that. I'm not into that yet. This thing is fairly in-depth. I mean, just keeping the thing in the air is enough work as is. And I'm going to try and go over the start sequence as well. I streamed a bit of this via Twitch the other day, and quite a few people joined and helped give pointers and things of that nature, which kind of, you know, helped myself and others kind of figure out what needs to be done. Now, it is in a constant state, as I mentioned. Hopefully, the developer, Wing42, will create sort of like a reset button or something like that resets everything, if you will, so it's not so much of a hassle to get in and fly. But there are some things you can do, one of which I'll try to explain here in just a moment. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop in this puppy. All right, this is your interior. This is the cockpit, obviously, and it is glorious. The sight lines and field of view out of this thing is absolutely magnificent. The windshield itself and these side windows, seeing these big, beautiful engines doing their things here. Very nice. You've got these slidable windows. The sound is occlusive as well. I think that's the right word I'm searching for. So whether you close them or open them, the sound does change, and it gets very loud because, well, that big-ass radial engine is right there next to you. So you can close both, actually, and open both. And you've got your hatch up here. You just pop these things, and then you should be able to grab it and pull it. There you go. Probably don't want to fly with that open. That'd be my guess. Go ahead and lock these back up. The door as well. Let's see if I can get this thing to close. So the cabin door back here. Oh, I lost my mouse. This happens on occasion. I don't know why this happens. I have to hit escape. There we go. Let's close the door. So this is your door, and it's got these little peepholes, which is that's interesting. I don't know what those are all about, but okay. Let's open the door back up here. And the seats. Look at these seats, man. These seats look incredible. The bucket bit. These little bolts down here and the hinge. This thing is amazing. And these seat belts as well. I couldn't get over that. These seat belts look incredible. They're massive. Got the leather bit on the end of the buckle there. Of course, you can hide the yokes or toggle them, if you will. So we'll leave them off for now. This is your manual landing gear pump right here, that handle. And this thing has fuses, and you may need to change them on occasion. So you'll open this thing like so. Wait, I locked it. You got to unlock it. That would make sense. And every now and then you may need to click the reset fuse, if you will. So there we go. We'll pop that in. Are we missing any? I'm just going to put them all in. Hopefully that's enough. Lock it back. We don't want that popping open mid-flight. And then here are the radio fuses as well. Let's see if I can open this thing. Come on, buddy. There we go. Look how detailed this is. And I'm not going to open it for the sake of time, but this thing comes with a very, very intricate manual as well. It's, you know, all great flight simulator things should. Add-ons anyway, aircraft. But it explains things quite well, including the fuses and whatnot. But we'll hop in the back here. Let me go to the free cam. We'll scooch. We'll ghost through here. So this is your cabin. This thing could hold 10 people. The steward person, stewardess or whatever, that was kind of a jump seat right there, sat in that thing. But the cabin in this thing just screams 1930s. It's amazing. And these little bulkheads down below are very interesting as well. Can you imagine having to hop up over those to walk down this thing? Even this little bit right here has vents in it. It looks very spacious. I mean, the thing's got a ton of headroom. Let's see, what does this do? I forgot. It's ventilation. Makes noise as well. Got your escape hatch over here. I think you can open that. For the sake of having to reset it, I'm not going to do that. You can hear a clock ticking. And depending on the livery you choose, so there's like a Mexican airline livery, right? And it's got a Mexican newspaper right here in this rack. Just little details like that are incredible. That looks like the New York Times there. And whatever that is. Of course, you got your fasten seatbelt sign, your cargo netting up top here. And one of the coolest things about this aircraft, and I know I don't have it, but I've heard tell that there's one in the newly released Concorde as well. There's a commode. Train simulator fans would be, pun intended, shiting themselves. Because I don't know why. It's a thing with train sim. People want to see a toilet modeled. I really don't know why. It's just a thing. But yeah, so it's modeled. The toilet paper's modeled. It's even perforated. I didn't even know they had perforated toilet paper in the 30s, but I guess they did. But it looks comfortable. I'm a pretty big fella, so my knee would probably hit that door here. So I'd need to crack it open. But I don't think the rest of the passengers in the cabin would appreciate that. Got your little sink over here and your very limited water tank. So you got to go easy on that. Alright, so let's hop back up here and we'll get in all the things you can do here. So we'll pull open our... Let me reset the camera here, sorry. Beep. There we go. Okay. This is your tablet up here. Sort of like your flight engineer doohickey. Going to click on that. It'll slide on down. It'll tell you all about the plane. It's your index, essentially. And it's very cool looking as well. So we're going to hit next page. Flight characteristics, takeoff, cruise, all that. But I don't see anything about landing on here. So I've just been winging it. 2 of those have been a fiery mess. I landed it 1 time really well. That probably won't ever happen again. But anyway, spec sheet. This is your payload. So you can do this on the fly. So as you can see right here, these are our oil compartments within the engine themselves, the fuel tanks, 2 fuel cells here, and then this is the pilot, co-pilot, and the steward person, stewardess. I'm just going to say stewardess, sorry. And then, of course, the passenger spots. So what we're going to do here, and then, of course, sorry, mail, express baggage, and then mail in the nose cone as well. So once you start setting these and you hit make it so, Your little ramp workers and your engineer, your ground crew and flight engineer will start making things happen. So I'm going to try and do this as quick as possible just so I can hop out and we can see it happening. So I'm going to tell them to fill the tank up here. We're going to get them both filled up. We'll go ahead and top the Earl off. The Earl. We'll throw some passengers in here. We'll make it a little heavier. And then we're going to add a ton of baggage. So we're going to fill that up, and then we're going to fill up the nose as well. Now, so I did that, but nothing's happening here, right? So I'm going to click Make It So. And then you can see all these guys and the percentage of them working and doing such things. And they will check all these, which you can manually check as well if you would like. So let's hop outside and see this stuff in action, because this is very cool. So they got the nose cone open there, putting stuff inside. It's just very nice. You can even see a little net in there. Mail, things of that nature. Baggage, got the chocks on. You'll have to forgive my exterior camera work. I don't have an Xbox controller hooked up to this. We'll go around to this side. Got your passenger ramp. The door's open. Oh, I left the turlet door open. Dang it. So these things happen. They animate. They don't just, they don't stay there. Like, for example, the cart, I believe, well, no, I was just proven wrong real time. So it will disappear. Once you do all that stuff, it will disappear. But if you want it to just set out there to, make a scene and have it look cool, you can very much do that if you would like to do that. So let's hop back in here. Let's see. Still got the wheel chocks, baggage, cart rear, and rear cargo door. So they're queuing that up. They're getting done here. Let's see what he's doing. He's getting the baggage cart, and he's refilling the fuel tank. So they're doing separate things. That is awesome. This is very awesome. Nope, I did not mean to do that. Please come back. Thank you. There we go. All right, so something else. And you can also change pages while this is happening as well, which is very nice. You can remove the engine cowlings. So I'm going to remove these bad boys. Ba-bam. Look at that. That is gold. That is so hot. That is like, as a vintage aircraft enjoyer, this is one of the best damn looking modeled radial engines I've seen in Flight Simulator. This looks incredible. And of course, both of them do it. And there are various stages that you can do of the cowling as well. As you can see, it's 1 through 7. So we'll hop outside once again and just take a closer look at it. I promise we'll fly this thing, but it's so in depth. I feel like I would do it a disservice if we didn't look over this stuff here. Just look at this. Incredible. God, that is a thing of beauty. That is a thing of beauty. Alright. Enough drooling. Let me pick my chin up off the floor here. We'll get back in. So if you want to do like a maintenance day thing or something like that, you can very much do that. So we're going to pop the cowlings back on. You can also put the ladders here as well. We're going to definitely need those in a minute. And the oil pans, which is cool. So we'll just hop out quickly here in this view. Now they're not down there yet because the ground crew, the dudes, the boys, they're busy. They're doing other stuff right now. So they'll get around to it. Let's see. Alright, he's still refilling that. So you see it's queued here. So they will put them down. You can also open the battery compartment and gear fairing as well. Now this is where the interesting bits happen. If you don't want this to be 100% prototypical or realistic, you can uncheck these. I'm going to leave them checked for the time being, and there very likely will be a problem. Something else that's very cool about this is the oil. You've got to pay attention to your oil. Now we're in Key West, my home state of Florida. A bit farther south of where I live in Florida, but we're at Key West International, and it's pretty warm. It's been pretty warm for over a month. We don't really get spring. It just kind of goes into early summer down here. So you're going to need to pay attention wherever you're at in the world to the oil grade and the temperature range within that oil grade. So it is most definitely 20 to 95 degrees. So we're going to go with SAE 30. It should already be set there because I was flying around Florida earlier. So It's already set to SAE 30. If you're in colder climates, you most definitely want to look at these because the engines will not run correctly. They won't produce the right power, the right temperature. The oil may be too thin, too thick. It won't, heat up properly. Things of that nature. Oil things, basically. I'm not going to try and get too into it because I really don't know that much about it. Just very, very basic stuff. Let's see what he's doing here. All right, so he's got these installed and in place. Very good. Look at that. Oil pans under the engines. God, this thing is incredible. This thing is incredible. Okay, let's go ahead and get that crap out of here. Bam, 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 bam. All right, Jack. Jack's a good lad. He's getting her done. There we go. All right, let's see here. Only thing installed is the wheel chocks. We'll go ahead and remove that and get ready to fire this puppy up, or at least attempt to. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Now I'm going to leave the yoke hidden for now. So I'm not going to get this process 100% right. I probably won't get it 50% right, but I will get the thing fired, okay? Now, some things may vary. I definitely had some trouble with this, like I said, but a lot of buddies of mine and people on Twitch kind of chimed in, and we were all helping each other kind of figure things out, and it worked in the end. So first things first, if you have this and you're having problems and you can't fire it, reset everything. Reset the magneto, the battery, the master ignition switch, and the magneto. Sorry. Maybe even switch the fuel tanks around, the radio fuses, fuse box, things of that nature. Just turn everything off and on because it does remain in a safe state, as I mentioned. So we'll go ahead and look down here. Gonna leave the oil shutters closed. Carburetor heat as is. Gonna go ahead and turn the prop levers all the way up. Or if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the pitch essentially, or the RPM. So we're gonna leave those. And I'm using the mouse as well, so things might get crazy. I'm not gonna worry about the throttle. We are gonna add a ton of mixture as well. Let's see, and that's our fuel wobble. So we should be good to go there, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and switch. So we're going to switch. We're going to start number 1 up first, so that's lefty. So we're going to switch this to left, and then this should be in both. The engine distributor dial. I can speak, I swear, sometimes. So we're going to leave that in both. We're going to go ahead and turn the magnetos on here all the way. We're going to pop that bad boy in. Going to make sure our master battery switch is reset, so I'm going to push that back in. And a buddy of mine showed me this yesterday, which I didn't even realize. This is the DC gauge for your power here. So just to check that you have juice, which you don't need to fire, but it's good to have. Let's see. There we go. We got juice. So we're going to turn that back off. All right, here we go. So this, it's going to be hard for me to explain this, so I'm going to try to do it the best I can. The manifold pressure instrument selector, we're going to put it on the left engine number 1. This primer right here needs to go to the engine desired to start, so we're going to do that left, so it's going to go that way. And then we're going to put the primer master valve on. So that's to the right. That'll stay to the right. We're going to put the fuel gauge selector to the left as well. Now what you'll need to do is pump this 3 times if I'm not mistaken. So left click it, hold it. 1, 2, 3. Now you can check your fuel gauge right here by pulling. You're going to pull this all the way out and then let go. If I can grab it here. Boing, boing. There we go. We're topped up. All right. Here comes the fun and loud part, hopefully. I'm going to crack the throttles. And we're going to start pumping. So these are our fuel pressure gauges up here. We're really only going to worry about that one on the left for now. So we're going to try and keep an eye on that. We're going to just pump it up a little bit here, see if it's working. Okay, it does not appear to be. Alright, something may be amiss. Let's see. I need to switch this over as well. That's the engine temperature. Okay, what am I missing here? What am I missing? Think. We're going to switch this around again just for... There we go. We'll switch that one around. There we go. Now she's working. See, that's what I'm talking about. That save state can create issues. So if you reset it manually, you should be good to go. So I believe you want to be anywhere between about 2 to 3 and 5 PSI. So it's naturally going to start dropping, because that's what it does, because the engine isn't running. So I just wanted to make sure that part is working. So it is. I'm going to go ahead and pull the clipboard back down here. And one of the neat things you can do, now you can either do this outside on the wing, on the engine, or you can have it what they call assisted, sort of like a flight engineer thing, like sort of like with the DC-6, if you will. So we're going to have them wind up the flywheel, and it's going to get up to speed, and then you're going to mesh the flywheel, and that should fire the engine. But you're going to have to pump this while that's happening, and you're going to have to keep it between 3 and 5. So let's see if we can get her done here. So I'm going to click that. You can see old Jackie Boy's climbing out there on the ladder. Going to get his little doohickey over there. We should probably close the window a hair. This might get loud. There you go. All right. Let's start pumping her. Now, pretty much as soon as the mesh flywheel thing lights up, you should be good to go. Come on, come on, come on. Negative. Okay, she didn't like that. Maybe I didn't have it quite pumped enough, but I think I know what happened. So I wasn't able to pump the fuel a minute ago, right? Because I had to reset the engine distribution dial doohickey here. So I'm probably going to have to redo this. So I'm going to flick it off and on again. I'm going to flick that off and on again. And we're going to go ahead and repump. 1, 2, 3. Going to check our fuel quantity. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? Now I'm going to give her a few pumps. Let him start winding it up. Come on, Jackie boy. I feel good about this one. Pump it a few more times. Come on, baby. Oh, yes. God, I love that sound. Pardon my giggling. Woo! She's humming now. Alright, sorry, that might have been a bit loud, but I like to hear these things, you know. I hope you do too. You know, if you're into stuff like this, you like to hear the airplane and the engines, right? I feel like too often I've seen stuff where you don't really hear anything, which kind of defeats the purpose. Alright, so we're going to start same process, numero dos. Right, so we're going to leave that one going. We're going to switch this over. That's going to remain there. I'm going to switch all my toggles to the right engine, including my heat, engine temperature, and same deal, prime it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Let's check the quantity. Good deal. All right, let's see if we can wobble it home here. She filling up? Yes, she is. You can see that top right gauge going ham. Gonna go ahead and get old Clippy boy down here. All right, Jack. Now, I don't know if this is a bug or not, but you don't really hear this one winding up, which is a bit odd. But you can see it. You can see the ladder. You'll see the hand crank. And you will, of course, see this light up green when you're good to go. Oh, shnikes, come back. There we go. I accidentally rolled out with the mouse wheel. Alright, I forgot to pump. Pump. Alright, come on, baby. Come on, baby. She's green. There we go. Oh no! Oh no! She didn't start. Come on. Why are you do this? Alright, let's try this again, shall we? Back to the right. Right, that is on. Yeah. That should be good. Oh! I made a massive dingus mistake. You need to choose the tank selector, I believe, to start each one. So let's go back to the right here. Alright, I think that was an issue in the past. And in the past, I mean like 24 hours ago. Let's get the clipboard back down. And being that I just did that, I may need to do this again. So I'm going to give it 3 more pumps. Let's check the gauge. Yeah, it's good. You can see our needle doing its thing. Alright, Jack. Feeling good about this one. Let's try it again. There he goes. He's cranking. Come on, baby. Keep pumping. You want to keep it up near 5. Or just not too low. Here we go. Yes! Alright. There we go. Alright, they are fired. Now that's half the battle. The other half is them not lighting on fire. So, let's go ahead and turn our radio on. Like I said, we're not going to worry about the old school nav thing right now, although that's very cool. It's just that would be a much longer video. So first and foremost, let's turn our landing lights on. We're going to turn our radio power on. That's the master avionics, and all of our lights and instruments. Boom, boom, boom. And what's so unique about this plane, look at everything jittering. Look at the yoke. All the panels, all the handles, all the knobs, look at these things bouncing around. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Alright, and we're going to try and take off. Even the needles bounce on this thing. Alright, so I've heard you typically don't want to have this thing under about 1,000 RPMs. And the temperature, I have not managed how to keep the temperature where you want it. I think it all comes down to the right oil. So we do have the right oil. 200 Fahrenheit's about where you want the temps. Oil temps, that might be a little too high. So I'm going to open these up a little bit. Oil shutters just a little bit, because it does get hot and humid and gnarly here in Florida. And we're going to get moving. Now this is a big girl. So she takes some taxiing. Oh, snikey. The engine went out. Come on. Come on, man. I just noticed that. Okay. That's not good. I don't know why it went out. Makes me sad. Alright. Alright, again, that's part of the beauty of this aircraft. It takes patience, which I don't have much of, but she was getting hot, and let's just say that left engine burnt a little bit more oil than it should have. Alright, here we go. Right, so let's watch those temps. Oil pressure, fuel pressure looking good, oil temp. Nominal RPMs are a bit high, so I'm going to drop it down a bit. Air temps, a little over 80. God, it's hard to believe. It's 10 a.m. right now, and it's over 80 degrees. The temp on lefty's a little low. Let's bring these up some here. Let's see if that works any better. Anyhow, let's fly this thing, please. Okay, so let's go ahead and get off the ramp here. Unlock the brake. And she takes some doing to maneuver around here, so Can hear everything rattling. Absolutely love that. Oh, we're in the dirt. We're in the dirt. As I mentioned, I am no professional, nowhere near. I just really love this bird. Oh, dear God. Let's slow down a bit, eh? There we go. God, that noise is something else, I tell you what. Same devs working on the Vega. I can't wait to see what becomes of that. I'm gonna pull back hard and start breaking a hair. You'll have to forgive the animation there. That's my stick. It's a bit tweaky, and I have a massive dead zone because it likes to do weird things. So that is I have had quite a bit of caffeine this morning, but I promise you, that's not real. It's not really happening. I mean, it's happening, just not not for me. All right, let's go ahead and brake here. All right, brake, please, please, please. Come on. There we go. Once you kind of get her to a decent speed and you're hard over on the rudder or the wheels or the brakes, if you will, she'll turn okay. You just gotta go a decent speed and kind of caster it, you know. Think of it like a shopping cart or a buggy, like we like to call them down here. It's not going to turn that well at high speed, right? All right, and full back parking brake set. All right, so let's open this bad boy up here, and it'll actually tell you. Look at this. See, you can see the oil that I burnt there. It says you can top that one up, but not the right one. Good God. Good God. Okay, where's the, there we go. All right, take off. Manifold pressure 36 inches, 2200 RPM, max 5 minutes. Okay. 2200 RPM. Roger, roger. I'm going to trim it back just a little bit. That's our trim handle there. Go ahead and throttle up here. Let's see what she can do. Come on, big girl. The needle's floating in the red. Her ass is off the ground. Ooh. Now I've read this thing can take off at like 40, 45 mile an hour-ish. Alright, let's go ahead and watch that gear animation. Prepare your ear holes. Look at that smoke. God, this thing sounds incredible. I'm going to go ahead and throttle back a hair. Let some of that sweet, sweet noise in here. And we'll just fly around Key West and try and land this puppy. Not entirely sure what that giant thing is sticking out of the ground over there, but okay. Go ahead and trim up a bit more. Don't want to climb too much. But she flies like a dream, though. Like, she is heavy. This is a big girl, so it takes some doing getting it up off the ground. You know, depending on circumstances, altitude, temperature, things of that nature. Of course, weight of the airplane, and just general lack of ability, such as like what I just demonstrated. Alright, I'm going to throttle back some more. Let's pop this clipboard open here again. Let's see. Cruise 2729 inches, 2000 RPM. Right. But she flies beautifully. It's like a butterfly on the breeze. Just very relaxed and limber. It just feels right. It does what you pretty much want it to do. Go ahead and pull the mixture back a bit here. And the RPM, drop those a bit. Trim it up a bit. Try and pick the nose up here. Take a look outside again. Just look at her glide. I think it's so gorgeous. I am burning a ton of fuel. Whee! Yeah, that's probably not very good. We'll try and get a little more reasonable here, eh? Oh, I lost my mouse again. Son of a biscuit. I don't know why that keeps happening. Does that happen to anybody else? Alright, let's try this. Boom, 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 boom. Could be the oil, too. Yeah, not much better, but that's alright. I'm no professional. She's flying, though. That's all that matters. Now, it doesn't really say how to land this thing. I've perused the manual a couple of times, but we're just gonna wing it. I'm like I said, I don't know techniques. I don't know call signs, lingo, patterns. I just like airplanes, and we're just gonna try and land it here. I've got the gist, the general gist, if you will. Let's go ahead and throttle back here. We're just gonna touch back down where we took off here. We'll just gradually lose altitude here. Ah, she just floats. This thing is just so dreamy. If you're into vintage aircraft, you cannot go wrong with this plane. You know, even if you're not into the biggins. Alright, let's trim her down some there. Forgot to reset my altimeter. There we go. Oh wow, it says we're actually below sea level. Okay. Don't want to go too fast. Doing about $110 right now. It's right about where I'd like to keep it. Let's trim the nose back down here. Just gently lose airspeed and altitude. Still banking. But this thing is incredible. Not only does it look amazing, but it sounds amazing. And the physics just feel great. Like that's one of the things I try to do, if whether or not you're into train simulators or not. That's a majority of the videos that I do are train simulator based, and those are three key components. You know, how it looks, the sounds and how it feels. Playability too, of course. With Flight Sim, things are a little bit different in that ballpark. You know, this MSFS, you can go wherever the hell you want to go and do whatever the hell you want to do. But this thing is incredible. And for the price tag that it has, like, you literally cannot beat it with a stick. You cannot. Alright, let's try this here. We're just gonna wing and a prayer it. Coming down pretty gradually. Try and keep the nose down a hair. There's a beacon. But this thing is absolutely incredible. You know, I haven't covered much. I've tried to because I know it's kind of been an issue starting, and it's not really a plane that you can, like, cheat start, if you will. Well, you may be able to, but so it's good to kind of know what you need to do as far as the fuel delivery and the optimal temperatures and things of that nature. It looks like it is a bit cool right here, temp-wise. I believe you want to keep that around 200. I'm going to close these bad boys up here. All right. This thing just, nothing else flies like it. It's an incredible bird. Try and get a somewhat decent landing there. We'll take that monolith at about 11 o'clock. That should be over our right wing upon landing. I assure you that is not a thing in the Keys. I don't know what the hell that is. I guess that's just Flight Simulator for you. It is like that sometimes. So many things that can go wrong with this. Not only can the engines catch fire, outright die, just you name it, it can happen, and that's pretty neat. I think that's new to the sim. A lot of the effects. I know there are some planes with unique effects as such, but that's pretty cool. And of course the fuse box deal, and of course the ground crew and the flight engineer and all that good stuff, which is pretty neat. And it's just a good bird. You know, beyond that fact, just when you look at it, nuts and bolts, you know, how it looks and how it sounds, incredible. Let's see if we can get the gear down here. There we go. That has greatly changed our aerodynamics. Alright, she's down. Start trimming up some here. Sounds like someone's working in a wood shop next to us. I guess that's the yoke. Doing about 90, I think. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Alright, power up, power up. This thing takes a minute to respond, too. It's got some interesting characteristics. It's almost like a turboprop, if you will. Power on. Very much power on. Getting a bit windy. Of course, got that east-southeast breeze right now. This is, of course, real-time, real weather. At least it's supposed to be, anyway. Probably should have come in from the other side, but, you know, we'll wing it. Winging a prayer. Okay, what is that noise? It seriously sounds like somebody's, working in a wood shop. We'll offset it with some glorious noise. Alright, power down. Got some big old wings. She can glide for days. Don't want to come down too hard. And there it is. This thing is an absolute dream. I am not good at this at all. It's relatively easy to do. Let's see if the tail's still up. This is just such an incredible plane. There we go. Let's pull back here. It really is an incredible plane, though. If you're into vintage aircraft, especially the big uns, I couldn't recommend this thing enough. Let's try and get off the runway here. Especially at the price, 20 bucks. Like, you cannot beat that with what some of the stuff is being charged for flight sim. You know, even some of the study ready stuff, if you will. Even some of the price of that, where this is almost equal to that kind of stuff. Maybe not entirely, but for the most part it is. Do not mind my taxiing skills or lack thereof. But this thing is a joy. I love flying this thing. I don't know if I'm going to fly anything else, you know, in the near future. I love this thing. Hopefully the video was somewhat helpful and insightful. And not too terrible. Terrible, okay. Not too terrible, being my first flight sim video. And if you made it this far, again, thank you for watching. But that's it, guys. The Wing42 Boeing 247 Delta. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.